4, 3.
So why don't y'all go down the line, introduce yourselves and what you play. We'll start there.
Sure. Yeah. I'm Ryan. I primarily play guitar. I sing. Little electric sitar every now and then. Some double neck.
Hello, my name is Eric. I play bass.
Hang on. Can we just start over with the intro again? We had a little bit of a glitch there.
You had a glitch? Okay, you want to start from beginning?
Yeah, just introduce yourself from the beginning.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Studio 801's Music Matters. I'm your host, Harry. Today we have with us the band The Dangerous Experiment. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start off. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what you play?
Sure. My name's Ryan. I play guitar. I sing a little bit. I play a few odds and ends in addition to guitar every now and then.
Hello, my name is Eric. I play bass and I play bass.
Hi, my name's John. I play drum set. A Dangerous Experiment performs original music. We do a combination of jazz rock, jazz fusion, high energy, a lot of fun, very enjoyable to play.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about the name first. So why The Dangerous Experiment instead of A Dangerous Experiment, or what's with the experiments?
Well, there's only one of us. Like, there's only one dangerous experiment. So,
who is it?
Us.
It's us.
Okay.
It's us.
Okay. And how did you guys come up with land on that?
Yeah, that's a John special. I think it's a really cool name.
Well, I thought it was appropriate. We're doing music that's a little bit avant-garde relative to mainstream. We are trying to perform in a sphere that is filled with some very, very accomplished musicians, so it's very challenging music. And we have an opportunity to be very creative and try new things, which we do all the time. And the beauty of it is that Ryan really is the main composer of the music, but he comes in with the ideas and we construct the songs as a team together. We've been together for 10 years doing this type of music, and we progressed as a band, we progressed as musicians. It's been very rewarding. This is certainly not a band that you get into for the fame and fortune. This is a real pure music, and we take it very seriously, and we're really fortunate that we found each other because we're able to complement one another. And we've never had an argument, believe it or not, even though Ryan is not very agreeable. But we still haven't had an argument. So it's cool. That's why we got the name, and I think it's very fitting for what we perform and kind of our mindset as we go into the music.
Well, and I like your logo with the little beaker.
Yep.
That's very fitting also for playing around with different ideas and whatnot. And there's a lot of original music is like that, and it evolves based on who you're with and circumstances or in your life and whatnot. How did you guys all get together? You said you've been together for 10 years, so where did you meet and how did that all happen?
Yeah, that's interesting. We were I had formed kind of a little songwriting partnership with a singer. He was writing some like countryish songs, and I was doing what I do, and we came across each other like on I think a Craigslist ad back in the day. And he had written that he was really into the band Failure, and I have never heard anyone besides myself who was like really into the band Failure. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. He and I started writing some songs, and when we had enough that we wanted to, we felt like we wanted to take him to the world. Then Clay, he found, as far as I know, he found John and Eric. I don't know how he did it. He's kind of quite the salesman, Clay is. So we played as a vocal band for a long time called Craw with a K. And we played around in Dallas and stuff. And then when Clay decided to leave the band, we didn't want to stop. And we all like instrumental music best. So we thought we'd just switch.
Okay. So how long was he with you and when did he leave? And
Yeah, we
I
must
was
have been
2 to 3, not that long.
Yeah,
Okay.
really, not that long.
in the
About
grand
2
scheme of
years.
things.
We
it
had some
wasn't-
cool songs. I mean, it was cool music. We
Yeah.
made it interesting,
Yeah.
you know, with the vocals. But when he left, we started doing some instrumental. We started singing for a while. Ryan took over some of the singing, but eventually we just kind of morphed our way out of that to the point where now we have one song with vocals.
So
But it's
you-
a good one. We just recorded it. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
So you're not really interested in having a vocalist, or did you try to find
No.
somebody to
No,
replace
we're
them?
very comfortable where we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we watch all sorts of bands, and there's all sorts of really cool vibes that you can get both for vocal oriented and instrumental oriented bands. I mean,
Yeah.
heck, a lot of stuff even by Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, even some
Yeah,
of
we've
the
done some of Joe's covers.
yeah,
Sure.
even some Rush, even
We
though
do
it's
2 of those.
yeah.
YYZ and Lestrade Bill.
Yeah, well, I was
Great
gonna
job.
say when I heard you guys during sound check, I'm sitting there going, yeah, you've got definitely a progressive rock kind of a vibe. There's a lot of technicality that I could hear in the playing, so it was that's pretty cool to see that kind of a thing. We have all sorts of bands. We got people that are classically trained. We got people that learn from School of Hard Knocks. We've got like all sorts of everybody in between too. So it's cool to watch how bands gel together and what how they're mixed. Are you guys classically trained, or how did you? What's your education in music and all that?
My education is books.
Uh-huh.
I am not classically trained.
Okay.
I hate saying I'm self-taught because I know what that usually sounds like, and I usually like it. But I got to the point where I didn't want to sound like I was 100% self-taught anymore.
Right.
I don't know how far I succeeded, but I just started reading books and learning more. Like I gotta not sound like this anymore, and so that's how it worked for me.
Did you have somebody critique you, or did you record yourself and watch yourself? You have a favorite YouTube,
Oh,
or
yeah. So actually, like going way back, when I started this, I'd look at like jazz books, how to play jazz guitar kind of thing, you know. And it's like, okay, got some scales and modes in here. I'll learn that. I've never seen this chord before. I'll learn that, you know. And then I'd take, you know, because I'm not really much of a jazz guy in terms of what I can play, but I would find something that resonated with me. And then I'd go home and get my little like 4-track recorder or something and just like loop something and then just like play over the top of it until I felt like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And then just move on to the next thing. And piece by piece, started getting to the point where I had, I would say, a vocabulary that I can't say everything, but I can say most of what I want to say. So,
gotcha. How about you, Eric?
It's my family. They all been musicians. I have few uncles that used to play at weddings and stuff like that. So I started just like following them, and I like the music because of them. Then me with other cousins in the family, we started just like playing in a band. That's just a garage band. That's how we started playing all types of music.
Mm-hmm.
Not just rock, but we started with like Latin music and all kinds of stuff. And I didn't go to school. Just took a few private lessons and stuff. And when YouTube started, it's just like watching videos and stuff. Before we just like had to, get the VCR tapes, and it's just trying to see what you can find on
Yep.
the videos,
Yeah.
trying to copy stuff just to be able to play covers and stuff. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, John.
My mother was a music teacher, so we had music in the house.
That sounds like a lyric.
It was something that I wish I had paid more attention to at the time. But I started playing drum set a little late. I got into Cream back in the day and Ginger Baker.
Okay.
And then for whatever reason, we had a progressive radio station. I grew up in upstate New York, and RPI was the school, Ranch Clear Politics. They had a radio station, and I heard this song by this guy named Deodato, who was a keyboardist, and it was really cool. Really kind of
Brazilian.
Brazilian,
Yeah,
really cool.
We
And
were,
and so
we were just listening out.
yeah,
He does a version of what the heck is the
he does Serenade. He does two classical songs, kind of Irving Berlin stuff. But anyways, I listened to that and I bought the album, and there was this part on there where I said, "Who the heck is that drummer? This guy's fantastic." It was Billy Cobham. Now this is before I knew Billy Cobham. And so shortly thereafter, I'm playing this album, I'm learning all this stuff, and it's really great. I'm going, and I auditioned for this jazz fusion band out of RPI, fantastic group with a sax, guitar, and bass. And the guy was from Poland, the main guy. It was called Paradox. And I went in there, and they played original stuff. And I didn't really know too much, but I had these Billy Cobham licks down. They thought it was great. So I got this job, and I played with them for almost 5 years. And back then, you know, we really got pretty far, but we didn't get signed. And then I went back to school. But since that time, I moved on, you know, from him to Lenny White. I was into him for a while, and Tony Williams. More recently, Dave Weckl. And there's a bunch of, today, there's so many good players, you know.
Yeah.
But so I just try to improve by playing that stuff. And, you know, you just, if you can stick with it and keep trying. It's hard, but you get to feel pretty good about yourself in terms of where you are, even though we are where we are.
And there you are.
And there we are.
Blake, who are some of your favorite? Blake's a drummer too.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking a little bit about it earlier, but right now the guy that I listen to Dave Weckl too. I see him up here a lot. Larnell Lewis.
Yeah, Garnell Lewis. Yeah, he played with Snarky Puppy.
Yep. They're out of they originate from Denton and UNT and all that. But was it Keith Carlock, right? That's been my big drummer crush. And was it Ari Honig? He's a good player. And here's a little bit of interesting thing. So Dave Weckl, Keith Carlock, and Ari Honig all went to UNT, and they all studied under Ed Soph, the former drum
Chicago.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Ed Soph, wasn't it? Or was it
I don't think so.
Or was it Blood, Sweat, and Tears? No, it was Ed
No,
Soph.
Ed. I think. I know Ed at least went to school at
What
some
did he
point.
play for? I know that name. I don't know. Wow.
He's played for a couple of people. One of the albums that I've listened to is like Woody Herman. He plays on a big band.
Maybe it was a big band guy. I just remember the name. I just don't.
Yeah. But no, that's actually like it's called, the album's called Giant Steps. Obviously, there's a cover, or I guess arrangement is the proper term, of Giant Steps on it. But if you take a listen to that album by Woody Herman, like the one to listen to is the first one, La Fiesta. Oh my God, it's like some absolute insane drumming. It's like, it's mind blowing. It's from the '70s, so you get like a lot of experimental, like more electronic keyboard parts, but then you have like a very like I guess was it open style of drumming, in the sense that it's not like ha da 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 the whole time, but it's like so open in the sense that it's not that, but then very full in the sense like he's just doing a lot, and it's like, it's amazing. It's a great album, but that's like, I don't know. There's so many good drummers out there.
Well, he played with was it Joe Henderson, who Aunt Marlene played with?
You mean Ed Soph?
Yeah.
I can believe it.
Yeah. So my sister, she's a jazz bassist. She plays, the big double bass and all that. So I grew up around this stuff. So it's and she still plays up in Chicago and New York sometimes. Sometimes she goes on tour and whatnot. So it's kind of cool to watch to watch your family, do great things and whatnot. So yeah.
So okay, I guess I have a question. Like, we already kind of talked about how like you all picked up the instrument, but like, How did you end up discovering, the music that you love? What ended up kind of pushing you towards into like rock, jazz? Like talk a little bit more about like some of the, you know, just how you got into that specific type of music.
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, it was kind of like a long and winding road, I'd say. When I was really young, most of the music I listened to was just stuff that my older sisters were listening to. And this was like late 80s, early 90s, so a lot of like Oingo Boingo and U2 and that kind of stuff. And I didn't know it at the time because I was small, but pretty much all that stuff has a little bit more to it than just like 4 chords and a yeah, you know. And as I grew up, I started realizing that all the stuff that piqued my interest had some kind of strange or unconventional rhythm to it, or had some really jarring harmonic content in some way, you know. And I didn't realize that that's what I was gravitating to until I remember I picked up an album that I saw. There was an advertisement for it in Guitar Magazine. Music for Pets by Z, which is Dweezil Zappa's band from back in the day.
Okay.
And so I got this album, and it's a silly album. I mean, the thing is absolutely bonkers. But it's also really cool. He does like he plays some stuff that's he emulates Van Halen's tone. Like he pulls licks note for note to try to like. It's kind of like a spoof, but it's also kind of like a tribute.
Right.
Really cool stuff. Well, there's a song at the end of that album called Choke, and at the time, I'd never heard a guitar solo that long before, and I think it's only like 4 minutes long, the solo part. But, you know, coming out of like grunge era where songs are like 2 minutes long,
Right.
you know, to hear something like that, and like it starts out so slow and easy, and then by the end, he's just like destroying his guitar. And when I heard that, it was just like a life-changing moment for me. It was just like, wait a minute. People can do this with music. Like I just, you know, like I had such a conventional background up to that point that as soon as I heard that, it was just like opening my mind and opening the doors. And then of course I discovered Frank Zappa and you know, Arnold Schoenberg and stuff like that. And it is just like, to me, that's just like candy, right? Like it's just all the stuff that most people are just like, what are you listening to? That's the stuff. I'm like, no, but you have to listen to it. You have to really,
Wow.
you know. So I just like, as I grew, I just started embracing that kind of thing, and I just took to it. So.
What are your thoughts on I guess the modern style of you know, overly maybe not overly, but like the, you know, avant-garde virtuosic playing, like, and I'm kind of thinking of more like math rock, you know, especially how that's like starting to, I wouldn't say it's like quite mainstream yet, but it's like, you know, in like a lot of music circles, it's become, you know, pretty popular, and then the like in metal circles, you know, a lot of more technical playing is very much so appreciated. What are your? Do you know any? Do you listen to any of that type of music? Kind of tell me what you think of it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with some of it. I think for me that sort of wave of music kind of started with Animals as Leaders.
Okay, yeah.
And when I first heard them, to be frank, I wasn't a fan.
Sure.
And then I made myself listen to that first album of theirs. Like I think I listened to it every day for a week on repeat while I was working, just because I wanted to absorb it, because I knew there was more to it than I could actually hear, you know. And by the end of that process, I could hear it and really came to appreciate it. So what I like about that music is the, you know, the precision and the chops that people have nowadays. Absolutely mind-blowing. Now, what I don't like about it is that despite all those chops, I find a lot of the harmonic content, with the exception of maybe Animals as Leaders, is usually a little bit more straightforward for my tastes. The basic rhythms of the songs tend to be pretty straightforward, you know. So they'll lay maybe a simple foundation and then layer a lot of very technical instrumentation on top. that doesn't resonate with me as much as, you know, like I look back and I think about like Yes, for example, technical masters, the songs still breathe, the songs still flow, and despite the the intensity of the playing, I find it's got a little bit, I'd say a little bit more soul. So I might just have an old soul and I gravitate more toward a more old-fashioned kind of playing. That's just how I look at it.
Sure. Eric, John, do you guys have any thoughts? I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like, you know, Animals as Leaders, Polyphia, because they're not a local band, but they're from the area. You know,
Yeah.
I think they all grew up in like Plano, so like a town over from here. Or, you know, a little bit older, I guess, would be you know, Dream Theater, because that kind of influences a lot of you know, any of these guys, Intervals, Chon, any of those guys. Do you guys have any thoughts or even know who I'm talking about?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that I'm more. You mentioned just a short while ago the playing of the 70s and the 80s.
Sure.
You know, you think about Mahavishnu Orchestra and Return to Forever and Larry Coryell and Herbie Hancock and these guys and Tony Williams' Lifetime. I mean, they weren't as precise with all these 7s, 9s, 11s, 6. You know, we do a lot of 7. We do a lot of 7. We do 5. We do 3. But
Used to have a 9.
yeah, we do a lot of that. But it's not as so intricate that it becomes the song. And what happens, I think, is you do lose some feeling for the spontaneity of it. You lose some feeling for the and it's amazing, and you can get awestruck, but I think it wears out after a while. You know, it gets a little old. Dream Theater was phenomenal. I mean, Mangini's unbelievable. I mean, the other guy too. What's his name? The first guy. He's back with them.
Oh, Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, Portnoy. I mean, it's amazing. Double bass drum, dexterity, all that. It's great. And Rush didn't pick him. He wanted to go to Rush. Rush didn't pick him. He took Annika because she's got a much more. It's like when the drummer for
Marco Miniman.
when Miniman played for Joe Satriani, didn't work.
Yeah.
Technician, a master, doesn't work. You know. So now he's got Kenny Arnoff, works great.
Yeah.
So it's just the flow. So I think all music's awesome, and I try to learn from all of it. But it's not my favorite time. Again, you can go on YouTube right now and you could pick up that 10-year-old. They're doing all this stuff. I mean, they're doing the bass thing down line.
Right.
I mean, it's just you can't. I mean, it's everywhere. You know, and so it's great. But I think that the soul of it, the romance of it, that matters too. And so that's why I'm more about that.
Well, the chemistry of the group
Yeah.
makes a difference
Yeah.
too. So sometimes, like
Yeah, a
you were-
lot of those they're dialed in. You know, they'll even do a video and they'll do remote stuff like
Right.
during COVID and stuff. And so, but yeah, you're right. I think that's true. But the stuff is, you know, it's incredibly talented to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like everything else, though. It's a style, and you learn it. Like big band, you know, it's a different style. You got to learn that. You know, bebop, that's a different style. All that stuff's different. So, but
So kind of going back just a little bit about you know, talking about drummers, how they mesh with you know, certain bands and you know, that type of stuff. I think that we can all agree, just as musicians, there is that, you know, certain X factor that is just kind of beyond just, you know, having chops that really makes a player like phenomenal. Whether it's that X factor within the chemistry of a certain band or as a player. What do you all think is like that X factor in your respective instruments?
For me, it's hard to describe, but it's I notice if a player is trying to communicate with his or her audience, there's sort of like a way of reaching out to the audience, and the audience is, I find a good audience is receptive to that, and they want to take it and they want to give it back too. And some artists are just better at that than others. Some artists are just really good at giving to the audience, you know, and it's that two-way communication that really, I think, for me, defines X factor. But a really great musician just knows how to give, just selflessly give to the audience. I don't know that I've figured out how to do that yet, but it's a beautiful thing to see and hear.
Engagement is a tricky thing because it is kind of a two-way street. There's what you give and what you get, and some performers they have a lot to give, but they can't play off of what they're getting from the audience.
That's
and
right.
and so the connection gets lost a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and I've watched some performers that just have amazing voices, and they put on a great show, but they're out of sync with everybody that's there. And then you've got guys that are there and they're looking at you and they're pointing to you and they're interacting with you, and you feel the vibe.
Yeah. It's humbling to see people who, like they can barely strum 4 chords, but they're such naturals at being able to just like draw people in.
Connect.
And communicate with them that like who cares how well or how not well they play, because they're just like I won't say jealous, but I really admire that when I see it. It's such a wonderful thing to see. That to me is the X factor.
Eric, what about you? What do you think the X factor is on bass?
It's kind of hard to tell, but I think it's just like being able to communicate what you're actually feeling, being able to perform. I guess it also depends on the music that you're playing, I guess, some of the music is just like so difficult that you just don't have the time to like think about anything, and just can really like connect with people. I've seen it with big artists too, like where like they're like trying to focus and they're just not connecting with the crowd. It's just one of those things. And you can tell like the performance is they're playing good, but they're just so focused on what they're doing because they don't want to mess up.
Sure.
I've seen it on big stages, like that happens.
John, what about you? Because I can at least tell you, my philosophy as a drummer, that X factor that really takes a drummer from being good to extraordinary. It's feel, and then like trying to define like really what is feel, because there are certain parts of it that I at least figured out how to define. Can I do it? No, but I figured out how to define, and at least leaves a path. And one of those is it's a small thing, but your timing between your limbs, right, and your overall timing. Because I've noticed that, at least myself as a drummer, my kick drum, my foot is consistently earlier than my hands, and it's, I know, being able to fix that, it's one part of that X factor, which is feeling. So I know what one part of the X factor is, but I don't totally know everything. John, what are your thoughts on
Well,
that?
I think, for every drummer, the idea is to support the group,
Sure.
to make the song better.
Count.
Yeah, and I don't count really. I just feel, but the interesting thing I think is that the pocket is special, but when you play music where the pocket's constantly changing, then it really comes down to listening, to make sure that you're where you're supposed to be, first of all. But when we deal with instrumental songs with solos, building that solo, reaching the crescendo at the right time, keeping the crescendo when the lead guitar player plays too long.
Seems like a personal attack right there.
all those things matter.
Shots fired.
The beauty of this band for me is that Eric he's really steady, so I can fool around a little bit. And every time I play, I try to come up with something better, something new. I make a lot of mistakes at practice, and I'll tell him, I said, I kind of messed that up, sorry. But I'm trying new things, to see if I can make things fit, to make it more interesting, to make it more, to differentiate the song more, The other thing I'll tell you is this: what's really interesting for me is I also play in a church choir, and it is incredibly intense. The songs are very simple. by comparison, they're really simple. But the instrumentation that I have is very weak, if existent at all. It's really the choir director. She plays the piano, an acoustic piano, and I got an electric drums kit with my own monitor, and 'cause I don't trust the house sound. And we play these psalms and things, and the concentration that's required for that, even though you're playing something soft and simple, especially when it's slow. I mean, it's the piano and a vocalist and the drum. And most of it, I'm usually doing cross stick on the freaking verse, but it is it's really, I'll say it's fun, but it's, when I'm done with that show, the mass, when I'm done with that mass, I'm here, man, I need a beer. I mean, it's really intense because I've got to be, with these guys, they're pro, right? So if I'm off a little, we get right back together, but if I'm off there, that choir it's like in Animal House when they march the band down the alley right to the wall. That's where they're going if I'm off. So I think as a drummer, the cool thing is that you really do have that responsibility first and foremost. And if and I keep trying to improve at that. I'm known to get a little excited at live shows, and we go a little faster than normal, but we like that. We start on it's steady. It's just a little faster at the start.
Yeah.
So,
it's the
okay,
excitement, It's the excitement.
Well, it's adrenaline. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the way, every time you're in one of these things, it's always, well, you got any chops? You got chops? That guy got chops? So, come on, man. So we just do our thing.
Yeah.
We play in the key of danger.
I like that.
Ryan came up with that.
I like that. Yeah. That's good. So, in the key of danger, speaking of which, what's some of the more interesting moments that you guys have had, either playing or what you've witnessed, or as musicians? Tell me some stories. Tell me some band lore.
Yeah.
Well, the Badio concert was cool.
Oh yeah. We opened for Michelangelo Badio.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun because
we talk about math rock. There's a guy with math rock.
Yeah, that was.
Yep, the double.
Oh, it's that guy. That guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fully ambidextrous.
Oh, he could play. He could.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the keys to the Lamborghini.
Yeah, he could play.
Yeah, that was cool too because this was before COVID, so the landscape's changed quite a bit since then. But I was following him on Facebook, and he mentioned that he was playing this show in Fort Worth at a place that used to be called Tomcats, and I just immediately I just happened to see it right after he posted it, so I immediately added a comment just like, oh, do you need an opener? It's just I considered this like a Facebook comment. I was not soliciting any kind of a gig or anything. And he immediately replied, and he's like, talk to this person, and tagged his manager, his booking agent, or whoever it was. So I got an email address, and then I was able to reach out, and then they're like, okay, yeah, sure. So it was fun to set that up. And it was for me, obviously as a guitar player, a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And
careful what you ask for.
Yeah, I was really, really nervous for that show.
He was really cool.
He was cool.
He's a great guy. He's a really great guy.
He didn't play with a band. He played with a backing track. So so he had his tank thing, it was all prepared. But but he was really good.
Well, there was
the last time was what was it, 19 or something? It was 17. Remember he was counting the thing. I couldn't count it. I tried to figure out where he was with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's some really progressions, thing.
Yeah.
And
weird time signature.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was multiple.
Down to the
7
30
7s,
seconds.
3 6 5s. Repeat. It was weird, but.
Yeah, no, that was a real good show. And people ended up liking us, so I was.
He complimented us.
He did.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
He did. He goes, looked up there and goes, they did some 7 up there. He said,
That's right.
That was good
Yeah.
7. Yeah, or something like that, he said. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that who's that band that you like, that Engine the
Jean de Poitrine.
yeah.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
so their timing is kind of weird, but it's like you've got one that's in 7/8, and one part that's in one of the players is playing in like 2/4 or something. It's
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
weird mix up of
Well,
That's like some Robert Fripp kind of stuff
Yeah.
where everybody's
Yeah.
synced but doing different things.
well, the big experiment that they're really doing is
the semitone.
yeah, microtonality. And
Oh.
there was another band that kind of made the waves for doing something, messing around with microtonality. It was King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
they,
yeah.
They had an album where they were dealing with stuff, microtonal, and it was interesting. It was an experiment, but I listened to the album. I listened to the full album. I didn't like it, but then Engine de Plantrine, like a lot of those songs are actually like fairly catchy, and it's more of just like the thought of how they're going through the use of microtonality, because really they're going they're not really messing with any microtonal harmony, because our Western ears aren't ready for any of that. They're more messing with like if we're gonna use music theory terms, passing notes and neighboring notes. So going from one note in one harmony to another note, and hitting some microtonal notes on the way to create some kind of microtonal and odd melody, while still maintaining the core basics of Western music theory that our ears are accustomed to. So it's a lot more palatable. And then you add on the crazy imagery, the crazy look that they have, and like just one hell of a groove, and then you get Engine de Plantrine, and that's why they got why they were able to blow up, and yeah, and it to actually like sound good, and not and yeah, it's a gimmick, but the music is legitimately good, and it's an
Catchy.
experiment.
It's
It's
catchy.
catchy. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
What other experiences have you had that were on the road, like the aha moment, or I can't believe that just happened? I mean, that's a pretty good. Who wants to play for what is this? What's the catchphrase? Who wants to play for Lamborghini?
You're talking about
keys to the-
Yeah.
you mean the I'm gonna give you the keys to the
Lamborghini. Yeah.
Because he did that in one of those, informational VHS tapes that
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
talking about, and it's like in the '80s or something. All along here, it's like, I'm gonna give you the keys to the Lamborghini, and he starts shredding on his
I say
guitar.
that one.
That's a classic. But
Yeah.
John, you said that you back in the early days, you were with a band. You guys made it pretty far. Can you
Pretty far.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, we got a recording company. It was called, back in the day, it was called Passport Records. They weren't very big, but back then the studio was the studio, and we went in and did a demo tape.
What year was this?
Oh boy, I don't remember. It was a while ago. But we did a demo tape, and they liked it, and they asked us to do another. And I thought we had a shot. And then they said, "We love you guys, but we have 3 other artists just like you. They're not doing that well." So that was that. And then we didn't stay together. Our instrumentation, we had as I said, a sax player and a part-time electric violinist. We had a bass, guitar, and myself. And I was playing the Ludwig Vistalite. I play Yamaha now. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It was really good music. And I said, I only got the job because I copied Billy Cobham's simple stuff that he did, and they loved
Right.
it, That's pretty funny. But at least I heard it.
Yeah. Well, copying is what the highest form of flattery.
Yeah. Nobody copies me too much.
What other events have you had significant?
I don't think our whole thing
There've been
is...
some funny shows.
Tell us about that.
we've had
Tell us about y'all's history. Come on, let's hear it.
Yeah.
The worst was not that long ago. It
No,
was
there's one we did in Deep Ellum one time, and I think I'd heard the name of the place. I couldn't tell you what it is now, but I don't think I'd ever actually been in there. And when I got in there, it was like I mean, the place had been gutted. There was graffiti all over the walls. It looked like the place had been abandoned for I don't know how long. And we got there. We were booked as one of the openers, and we got there and nobody was there, and no one was telling us when to load in. And suddenly this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Are you guys one of the bands that are playing here tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, we're supposed to be headlining."
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
So apparently the booking agent basically booked them into this place that was, I mean, it existed, but for all intents and purposes, it was non-existent. And then just like split and so they were on tour. They were like going around on a bus and everything. They had pulled up and they'd gotten to this place and there's like nothing there.
Oh, you know, the other one was when we were playing that show at in Fort Worth, and the roof, the rain came and the roof fell in. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there was another band that these guys, you know, the bands that are driving around and they drive up. You know, they can barely have enough money for gas, and there's no show. And you know, the guy go, I'll give you guys a beer if you want. Remember that? Yeah, remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't come in. The roof's falling in. You know, because it
That's
rained.
right.
Oh,
It rained.
yeah, we've had a
There
bunch
was
of
there
weird
was a show
shows.
in Arlington where the band that was playing before us, like they didn't have a drummer, so they borrowed John.
Oh, that's true. I did that.
It's like, hey, can
Yeah,
we
and I
borrow
said,
your
oh, shouldn't
drummer?
be very hard. They were playing this like rockabilly stuff, like this, and
Yeah.
like for an hour, you know. They were cheap, you know. Now I got to, you know,
Now you have to do your set.
Yeah, now I
and
do
you're
my
tired.
set. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff like that. But you know, the scene today, as Ryan said, the club scene is not great right now. I mean, it's tribute bands predominantly, and there's, you know, unless you're got some kind of a name. I mean, most of the clubs that we used to play are closed.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, almost all of them. We still get in the rail every once in a while, and that's a nice stage. I mean, it sounds good there.
Right.
Before these guys, I played down in Deep Elm a lot, and at the Curtain Club mostly. You know, with a band, we had our plaque up there and everything. That's out of business. That's gone.
Yeah. What was your band then?
It was Waking Alice.
Waking
back then.
Alice, okay.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
had a big following
Our
back then.
our partner in crime, Chaz from the local show. He used to do the local show down at the Curtain Club back in the day.
Yeah, it was a good club. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't Trees, you know, but we played Trees too. But it was more fun than Trees because it was a little more intimate, and it was. I really liked the sound there. It was really good. It was really good. But you know, so we do this for only one reason. We do it for ourselves. I mean, that's really what we're in this about, and we keep getting better. I mean,
Well, I'm in it for the money, but
you are. If you're in it for the money, you're 10 years too late.
I'm $10 too short.
Yeah, right. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's just realistic. It's just what it is. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good to have a community though, and there is still a community that that will listen to new stuff and
Yeah.
that you can play for some people. I know sometimes it's a little hard to get people
Oh,
to come
well.
see you, but
With our music, it's especially hard. But that's okay.
I don't know. Rush's just was playing in
No,
Fort Worth.
I know. But
No, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Almost every time we play, there's 1-2 people in the audience who are just like, they get it,
Uh-huh.
right? I understand, you know, this kind of music is not for everybody, but it's definitely for some people. And when they hear it, they know it. And like for me, that's the moment that I wait for when I play.
Yeah.
Like I want to know that there's one of those men or women in the audience that just like, hey, you know, like I heard that, and it's a real pleasure when it happens. And so that's
we usually get a pretty good, you know, even if they don't understand it, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Pretty
Right.
much. The other bands, especially. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun to do. It's good.
Well, that's if it would suck to do it if it wasn't fun.
Yeah, but I mean, there's different degrees of fun.
I
It's
know.
always
I
fun,
know, this
but
is
it's,
true.
It's rewarding. That's a better
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people do original music. So
Yeah, I'll tell you, I find this band, one of the most important differences between this band and other bands I've been in. with other bands, it's always been like, if we're successful, like if the crowd is into us, then we're happy. Like that's success and everything. But in this band, that still happens. But like the magic is like as we play, you know. It's really like it's really gratifying on a note by note basis, and you don't always get that in bands.
Right.
You know, it's either like one guy saying, "All right, everybody, here's how it's going to be, and you got to play this part, and you got to do it this way," or else it's just like, you know, 3, 4, 5 people who are so disconnected on so many different levels, on different life paths, going different ways, that, you know, coming together and playing is never really like a conversation between people.
Right.
You know. And like we're all similar people in this band. Like we have similar values and go in similar directions in life, and so I think that contributes to the fact that on top of that we all like the same kind of music, and we all play it the way we want to play it, and it all works out. So it's, you know, like that's a special thing. That's something that you don't usually get in bands. At least I haven't usually gotten it in bands. You know?
Well, that's cool. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Where can people find you and find your music and all of that?
Yeah, we are on almost every streaming service that you can get. It's The Dangerous Experiment everywhere. Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all of them. We have a presence on Facebook. That's Facebook/The Dangerous Experiment. There's no special symbols or any weird things you have to do to that, just The Dangerous Experiment. At The Dangerous Experiment on Instagram. And we do have a website, thedangerousexperiment.com, that is sometimes updated and sometimes not.
And I discovered you have a YouTube channel, so maybe...
We do, yeah. YouTube /The Dangerous Experiment.
9356?
9356.
Yeah. Magical numbers.
That's right, yeah. They mean a lot.
Yeah. So, and we're going to be setting up here to watch you guys play in a minute, and so don't go too far away. We'll be back in just a little while to hear The Dangerous Experiment. Thanks for being here with us tonight, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having us.
Can't wait to see you play.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you.